There might be a certain aspect in life that you really want to improve right now. It could be a career, it could be a skill or hobby. You might research or look online or even within for solutions. And time again, you keep running into the same realization. I'm not getting the expected results because I don't like following systems and routines. I'm not willing to follow this predetermined system or routine to get the results that I want. I don't want to follow a regimen. This is something I struggled with almost every day for the first 2 decades of my life, so it's definitely something that I can help you overcome in this video. If you're someone like me, you can't just take what's tried and true for the majority of the population, like go on YouTube and find the most popular system or method for getting good grades or getting a fit body and just plug that directly into your own life and expect that to just work seamlessly for you. Believe me, I've been there, I've tried that. And yay, I'm so relieved and proud of myself for finally getting to a place in life in the past 1 or 2 years where I've been able to follow consistent systems, regimens, and routines that bring me more consistent and expected results. And I want to help you get to that organized, on track, and relieved mode of operation as well. Growing up, I was allergic to school and homework and test schedules. I was on sports teams but hated having to attend regular practices. And I was always cycling between different hobbies and skills and never really making progress on any. The one thing I always felt terrible and ashamed of was hating systems and never being able to do something consistently like a practice routine or calendar blocking or even following a budget. And you might relate to this if you're watching this video. Even when I wanted to be someone methodical and consistent from the bottom of my heart, my own data and experiences in reality showed me the complete opposite picture. I got some of the results I wanted, but overall I was scattered, chaotic, and inconsistent all over the place. Now I do one-on-one coaching with successful entrepreneurs and creative, visionary people, and I am the perfect person to help you dig down into why you're unable to follow routines and systems and help you shift that in this video to actually be able to start making strides in the direction that you want. And at the very end of the video, I'll share with you the specific systems and routines that have worked the best for me over time in case you're feeling like you relate to what I'm saying a lot and you want to just directly implement the things that have worked for me. Okay, so first of all, let me just validate you and validate my younger self. We're not crazy for feeling this way, and it's great that you have self-awareness that this is an issue in your life. I meet with, work with, and are friends with people, those people who just need very specific detailed instructions, will follow the instruction manual. I meet people all the time who really need clear, detailed, and systematic ways for them to operate, and that is their zone of comfort. That is their preferred way. But if that's not you and that's not me, it's okay. You can still be very successful. I am very in the present moment. I love change and fluidity, and I love to create things from nothing instead of using a predetermined framework that has worked for other people. Humans are all so diverse, so if you feel like you're really just inherently not someone who loves systems and routines, that's okay, and you're probably pretty spot on with that insight, but stop feeling crazy or wrong or less than for it. This is something I wish I could have gone back and told my younger self. You have to embrace who you are and work with what you have. That being said, in a modern world with so much information, distraction, and options at all times, it's really important to have your own systems and routines down for the sake of your success and also just your own sanity. After graduating college, when I actually started building my own businesses and also working in a startup environment as a marketer, that I realized the way that you actually get consistent results, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your health or wellness goals, or any other aspect of your life, the way you get consistent results is by using systems that work. So how do you do it? Basically, you have to have a mindset that first you're going to experiment or learn, and then you have to iterate and be self-aware and hold space for yourself to mess up without giving up. And then lastly, you have to incorporate and refine the pieces you like until you have it down in a consistent system. Before I had this kind of mindset, It took me like a decade of struggling with consistency until I developed this kind of method or mindset. There were years in between where I completely gave up. I had this limiting belief that I don't like systems and routines and they're never gonna work for me. So I would try really hard at them for like a month or two. They wouldn't work and then I just give up and be like, no, I'm gonna do this my own way. I'm winging it. These things are not for me. There were also years in between where I was overly rigid with following systems, especially when I was studying for my economics major. I would live by my to-do list. I would be so meticulous about my calendar and goals and give myself so much pressure about it. And even though I was getting good results, I felt like I had missed the bigger picture of my existence and my vision. So I wasn't happy with that either. I was swaying between not wanting to try at all and trying too hard in an overly rigid way that just didn't work for my DNA or nature. To follow consistent routines and systems that actually feel good and enriching for you, you have to find what works for you, and it requires a lot of experimentation as well as awareness on what works and what doesn't. And it requires an intentionality to design systems that fit your life. So my main point in this video is you have to find what works for you, which is going to require a lot of experimentation as well as radical awareness and like honesty of, is this working or not? So keep that in mind. It is a process. It's going to take some experimentation. And then you also need to have the intentionality to design systems to fit every need in your life. And I don't want to get into all the details in this video because I could literally talk about this topic for hours. This video is just to talk to you about what you might really need to actually make systems and routines work for you that I found in my own experience. And a lot of times it comes from the inaccurate ways or the overly rigid ways that we think about these things. Yeah, just the really important thing to remember, especially if you were like my younger self who had a similar sentiment or dread around routines and regimens, go for progress over perfection. And just because 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 systems don't work for you, don't throw it all away. Keep on experimenting and iterating until things stick, because it will be worth it. Now for more practical takeaways, as I promised in the beginning of the video, here are some of the systems and routines that have consistently worked for me over this long span of time. All forms of journaling work really well for me, and I've tailored different methods and stuff over the past 20 years. So obviously that took a lot of experimentation to get it just the way I want. But journaling, just like a paper and a pen or a digital document, that really helps as a system or a routine. Notion app. I like Notion because it's really freeform and it has that, it can be regimented. The design is so open-ended that it doesn't feel as restrictive as some other apps or tools. Calendars, and my practice with calendars has shifted a lot over the years. When I first started out, what was the most helpful for me was literally like buying a real calendar and writing in it. So like an actual physical calendar. And also habit building and picking the right habits that work for me. And these are all like popular productivity methods or tools, but I, over the years, have developed a very specific way that I do all of these things to make it work for me. And it took me a long time to get here, so try to have fun with the journey, you know. And if you have any questions, you can definitely DM me as well. I nerd out about productivity. So if you want to work one-on-one with me, or you just want to say hi or chat about anything, feel free to look in the caption down below for options. Also, if you found this video helpful, you might be interested in this video I made about the first principles of work-life balance, as well as a video that I made on my insights from 2 decades of journaling. You got this. Stay blessed, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.